So in this video, I want to show you exactly the skills to cash blueprint. So how do you actually go about turning the skill that you have, right? If you clicked on this video, this most likely means that you have a skill, something you're good at, or something that you're just better than the average person at. Being able to take that and being able to simply make cash with it. Not just a little cash, being able to make really good money with it, right? It's going to be the full blueprint. If you have skills and you don't watch this video to the end, there's seriously a problem because it's really going to be valuable. And if you actually take action on what I'm about to say, again, you'll be able to make a lot of money directly with it, right? So I want to preface though, before you watch this video, this is only if you have a skill or expertise that's actually better than the average person. Right? You're not going to be able to do this correctly if you don't actually have a skill that's really, really good, right? So kind of all start with your skill. And when I say skill to you specifically, I know you have that thing in your mind that probably that skill that you have, you either do two things with it. Either you use it in your work, right? Maybe this is a communication skills. Maybe this is something, maybe you're videographer full time and you do this, it's for your work, right? So that's the skill you have. Or maybe it's just a skill that you use for yourself. Maybe it's just a passion of yours. Maybe it's something that doesn't make you money directly, whatever it is, right? So that's probably the one of the two outcomes from your skill. But what you didn't know with that skill that you have, that you've mastered, is that you can actually teach others, right? And there's two options with that. Either you can teach others in real life, right? And this is what you'll typically see with tutoring, or maybe a music teacher, whatever that is, maybe a confidence coach or whatever, in-person events and in-person stuff, right? But the problem with that is it's very limited. You need an actual location or studio. Either you can get people at your house, and also the client range and the base of the clients is actually very limited as well, because you're just working with people around your area, right? Which typically leads to people not being able to make a bunch of money, and especially because their time is limited, right? You can only work with or do, maximum 10 sessions of 1 hour per day, right? But you're not going to be able to work 10 hours every single day, teaching people. So it's very limited on that regard. So that's not the option you want to go down. But on the other hand, if you're in a position to be able to teach others online, well, it's unlimited because everybody is online. Practically, billions of people are online. There's a bunch of people that can directly learn from you, that want to learn from you, right? So the options with teaching online are completely unlimited. You can help as much people as you want. Now, can you help as much people as you want one to one? Not directly, but you can help other people, and that can maybe go through your program, whatever that you've already created once, right? So that's a way of thinking about it, right? And because it is unlimited, what that allows you to do is actually create an online education or a coaching business, right? This is essentially what it's called and what a bunch of people are doing right now. But I want to preface that if you want to start this business, which is a super lucrative business, allows you to work from anywhere you like, make a bunch of money, right? Um, the first thing you need is an in-demand skill or expertise, right? And this can be three things. Either it's a skill that makes you money, right? So for a financial wise skill, maybe it's your job, maybe it's an online business, maybe you're a videographer that does this full time. Maybe that's that, right? Maybe it's a creative or passion kind of skill, something that, other creatives or other passionates are willing to pay to learn, right? Or it's anything related to health, so being in shape, that kind of thing. You'll probably see those a lot online. Or relationships, could be like a marriage kind of thing. Maybe you have a really good marriage. Maybe you've had really good relationships. Maybe you know how to pick up girls, whatever it is, right? You have to have an in-demand skill or expertise, right? But a lot of skills are in demand, right? I'd say most of them, because there's a market for every single skill. The second thing is enough expertise in that specific domain that you chose, right? Again, this is depending on the expertise, but you have to have at least months or years of knowledge and practice to be able to do this well, right? And you also have to be in a position to help. If you're not in a position where you would confidently say that you can help someone else, right? Or maybe just at least advise them, then that's not going to be enough to be able to help others, because you're not going to have the credibility, right? The third thing is an actual track record to prove it. You have to have tangible results, right? This is a perfect example for if you've been able to make money. You can say the exact number of, money you make per month. That could be an actual tangible result. Or maybe you are a musician, you can say you've been able to play the song fully, or whatever it is, right? And also, a track record to prove it can lead to a case study. So someone maybe you've already helped, maybe someone you've already guided, that can also be known as a case study. So proving to people that you know what you're doing and that you can actually help them, right? The fourth one is an actual genuine desire to help others. If you don't have this, right? And I actually want to highlight this. If you don't have a genuine desire to help others, if it's not something you actually like, if it's not something you actually want to do, you simply won't make it in this online education and coaching space, because it all stems from that, right? People are going to buy directly from you to be coached by you. So if you don't have that desire, people are going to feel it and they're not going to buy from you. So you won't make it in this space if you don't actually want to help others, right? I specifically do this. I have skills, right? And I want to help others. I like helping others. And that's why I can get clients that pay me, right? The first step of doing all this is the actual offer, right? The offer is super, super important. And essentially, it's actually what you will help others with. And to determine this, you can do this right now as I'm talking, maybe like write it right next to you so you can actually just figure it out. But essentially, it's your skill. Essentially, how you help people, the method you're able to help people, that's essentially what's going to lead to having your basic offer, right? And I can give you a framework that you can just plug and play to be able to create your offer so that you at least have it. An example is helping specific audience achieve a desired outcome in a specific time frame without key objection and pain point. And I've actually showed you an example so you can have an idea with your head what that essentially looks like. Helping aspiring videographers create cinematic videos in 30 days without expensive gear or complicated editing software, right? And the reason it's so niche is because if you're a generalist, nobody's going to work with you because they don't feel like you actually know their problems, whatever. So you have to be specifically narrowed down to exactly what you want to do, right? And with that, being able to do that correctly, which is directly linked to the offer, you have to exactly know your ICP, which is your ideal customer profile, right? And this is usually in four different kind of things. You have the age. So what kind of age demographic are you targeting? Usually it's going to be similar to your age that you're currently at. Or maybe if you're helping someone who are at the beginning of their journey, it's going to be maybe, 5, 10 years younger than you, right? Their values, pretty self-explanatory. The challenges that they have, probably the same challenges that you had in the past. And the gender also is not as important, but definitely important. Let's say you're a fitness coach, you're a male fitness coach, then you're probably just going to help males, right? So that's also important. And the reason and how you actually do that and find your ICP is looking at yourself, exactly your personality and who you are and who you were at the beginning of your journey as well. And you can also utilize ChatGPT and AIs to be able to figure out exactly your ICP. You tell him about who you are, what you've been able to do, and they're pretty much going to give you your exact ICP. And they can also help with the offer as well, right? But it's just a framework to give you so you can have an idea of what that looks like. The second step, right? Now that you have your offer, you're exactly like know what you're going to help others with, and if they want to buy something from you, you know what that thing is, right? But now you have to be able to package everything up to be able to sell it, right? And there's multiple ways you can actually package it up. I'll list the options as I can show you, and essentially what they include. So online coaching, which is really like popular, usually it's packages between $1,000 to $5,000 one time, and then you get access to they get access to you essentially for a specific time frame, right? This includes usually coaching calls, whether it's group calls with more people or one-to-one calls. There's usually course content and there's usually community as well, right? And that's the reason it's pretty expensive, because they have coaching, they have some resources, they have the community, they have accountability, they pretty much have everything you can include. They have it, right? And that's really good because you can charge higher, so you don't need 100 clients per month. You only need maybe two, maybe three, maybe four, right? So that's pretty good. That's what I do online coaching as well, people to help others specifically, right? The online course side of things, I mean, you can charge anywhere from 200 to 1,000. I wouldn't recommend this, especially for beginners, especially for people who have no audiences online, just because it's going to be harder um, to make a lot of money just because you're selling lower, so you need more people in, right? And then usually this is just going to include some course content, so maybe just videos like this, right? The last option is the membership, right, which is something you pay every single month for access. Um, it's just usually going to include a community, and that's pretty much it, right? So when you have the exact packaging you want to do, whether it's online coaching, online course, or membership, you want to pick one of those. Again, I would go for online coaching. This is what I do. So I would go for online coaching. You charge more. It's just overall the best business model. So go for online coaching. And then essentially what you want to do for the content side of things, so what to actually put, you want to be able to look at yourself um, in the past where you were, and then look at yourself now, right? And essentially it's going to look like this, right? You're going to have all the learnings that you did, right? And essentially if you were to like pretty much do a step by step on where you were and then where you're at now, everything you had to learn, which is basically all of this, you want to basically at every single point that you need create a specific video modules, right? So create main points to touch on in gradual order. So everything you had to learn from when you started to where you are now in order, you basically want to create 5 to 8 points on there, right? And the second you figure that out, you basically have everything it takes to be able to say what the actual content of the program is going to be about already, right? You've just started, and if people are interested, you can already say what's going to be included, right? So they have an idea, and you don't need more than that to be able to sell to somebody, right? Which is really great. Then what you want to do after that is actually figure out the amount of coaching you want to do, and then the personalization. And then don't make this too complicated. You can either have group coaching with other people, which is going to be weekly, right? Really easy to set up, or you can do one-on-one coaching, which is maybe one-on-one coaching and group coaching, so everybody gets one-on-one, and then there's a group for everybody as well, right? And basically once you figure those two things out, which is basically your online coaching curriculum, right? That's what it is. What you're going to talk about, the content side of things, and the group coaching or the live call coaching you're going to do, and then also there's a community side of things. That's pretty much all what people need to know before buying. So you basically have your whole product already done, right? And that's a great thing because the thing we want to do with this is being able to sell as soon as possible without spending months creating and building everything, right? So that's exactly what you want to do, right? Then step three is being able to sell, right? So selling. So knowing how to start making sales and onboarding students. And this most simple way and quickest way to be able to do this, and I've already showed you in another video, is being able to simply go to Calendly, which is a free software platform for a calendar. Create a Calendly account. You want to create a calendar with your availabilities. Create a link for that calendar so people can book, and put it in their bio of social media accounts or wherever you get traffic from. I'm going to get to that as well in a second, right? And it's super simple. The whole selling process and be able to sell people in your online coaching offer, program, whatever you want to call it, is super simple, right? It should not be complicated. I'll essentially show you how that looks like, right? So it all starts with the calendar that you've set up, that you've just set up, which is super easy to do, by the way. You just connect it to your Google Calendar. Then people are going to start booking calls directly on that calendar, right? And on that call, you want to have a really basic conversation. It doesn't have to be super salesy, super pushy, because anyways, people are coming up to you, so they kind of are already interested in the product. You want to figure out their interests, right? Also want to figure out their problems, where they're at. You're going to realize it's pretty much problems that you faced in the beginning as well. So you pretty much know about these types of problems really well. And then once you see it's a good fit, and once you also see they have kind of the budget for it, you want to present your solution and your offer basically, right? Which is the level of personalization when it comes to the coaching, and then the 5 to 8 modules as well. So everything that has to do with that, right? So that's essentially what you want to do, right? And that's essentially what we call sales calls. I really just call it like really just a call because you don't have to hard sell anything. But if you can learn sales and learn how to actually sell properly, that's going to help you, of course, a lot, right? And then once they say yes, they're interested, then you simply just send a payment link, say this is the price, you're ready to join, and then once they do join, they pay, you onboard them, right? And the beautiful thing with this is you don't have to have the full thing built out, because on the call you say you're going to start having calls with me. We're going to start, going over everything. And the modules that I'm talking about, I'm building them as we speak, right? So you're going to get access to them as I'm doing them, and you can also ask for their feedback on how they're doing, what they want to see, right? So you want to send them the material, invite them to the calendar calls, whatever that is. And if you have a platform set up to be able to host students, I can go over video, and if you have questions, you can dub in on Instagram for the platform that I choose, but you can just invite them to a platform, right? And if you don't feel like taking calls with people and your product is less than $1,000, this is just something I want to add. You don't have to take calls with people. It's going to be easier to sell at the start. But you can also just create a sales page, right? Which is pretty just much a website. It's just like a landing page, just a one-page thing. You can either create on Go High Level or Framer. That's either one of the two I use. And then if you have trouble with that, you can also just hire someone on Fiverr to be able to create that sales page for you. People are going to go to that sales page, and then obviously just going to make the sale, and you're going to get paid. If your product is less than 1K, even, I'd say less than $500, or else it's going to have to require a call for you to be able to make that sell, right? Basically, now the last thing, and step number 4, is the attention and traffic, which is probably one of the most important things, because this whole system that I've just showed you is not going to work if you don't have ideal clients that are, that know about you, that want to actually book a call with you, that have actual interest in learning from you, and believe that you can actually, help them, right? So essentially, how to get people to know you and pay you, right? And there's multiple different ways without it being difficult. And this specific way of getting attention and traffic, which is pretty much the easiest way. I'm showing you exactly the whole system, but I want to wait until the next video because it's going to be more in depth, and we're already at 16 minutes, right? And I want to condense everything together. But in the next video, I will show you exactly how to get that attention and traffic, so you can basically start making money with this as soon as possible. Like I said, everything I just showed you right now is pretty easy to set up. You can pretty much do this in one day if you'd like, right? So it's just a question of getting your attention and traffic set up, and you can pretty much get that, right? So if you're someone who exactly wants to do this, right, have all this help, be able to figure out exactly how you're going to turn that skill that you have into actual just cash online, and be able to make anywhere from 5 to 30K plus per month. I've been able to help a lot of people do that. So if you're interested, just DM me on Instagram, right? My Instagram is going to be below. Simply DM me on that. We can have a conversation just to see if I can actually help you to turn that skill that you have, again, into a business that can do exactly like this. And pretty much the whole foundations I'm going to help you out with, right? So again, if you're interested in that, DM me on Instagram. If not, I'm going to show you again the attention traffic side of things in another video. So make sure to stick out for that, and I'll see you in the next video.